Thank you so much for volunteering to help us staff the Democrats' table at a voting site. This is an important role to fill. It helps ensure that our elections are running smoothly and also provides a friendly face and information for voters who may need it. We really appreciate you taking the time to help. Whether you are staffing one of the 3 voting sites during 8 days of early voting or one of the 19 polling locations on Election Day, we hope that this video will help you feel comfortable with the setup and what is expected of our volunteers. It's a good idea for volunteers to bring their own chair, books or activities such as a crossword or knitting, a water bottle, and snacks. You might want to have a towel in case it's rained and you need to dry things off, and scissors or a knife in case you need to cut zip ties. We do not leave any sharp items that could be used as weapons at the site.
Hi, thanks so much for volunteering. Volunteers, what we expect from our volunteers is first and foremost to provide a friendly face. So you can just greet people who walk by with a smile, a wave, maybe say hello, or thanks for coming out to vote, or do you have all the information you need? Volunteers are encouraged to take pictures and post them on social media. Volunteers are welcome to wear candidate or activist shirts or buttons, pins, or stickers that might be included in the bin or the bag of materials at your table. And you are allowed to use the bathroom inside, even if you are wearing partisan clothing or pins. It is possible that an election judge would ask you to cover that up with a jacket, but in the past we have had no problem going and saying we just need to use the bathroom. Just don't do any electioneering. Do your best to answer questions folks may have about the candidates. You can read through the lit that's at the table with them if you need to. If there are particular questions about voting, you might find that the election judges inside can answer those questions more fully. You may, if asked, talk about the candidates you like or voted for, as long as they know it's your opinion. You just can't tell them who to vote for, or during the primary, you can't tell them that the Democrats have any particular preference, because we have to be non-partial during the primaries for our Democratic candidates. There isn't any need for you to interact with people who are being unpleasant. This isn't really something that happens a lot, but you may find on occasion somebody will approach you and want to tell you why you're wrong about being a Democrat. And in that case, some folks have used phrases such as, "I don't want to listen to your Republican talking points," or "Please move your Republican talking points away from the Democratic table." I actually had a friend in one case where Republicans were hanging out right in front of the Democratic table and preventing people from coming up to it, and said actually to great effect, "Oh, you're with the Democrats now," and they skedaddled. So all of that's to your level of comfort, but you don't ever need to have any kind of confrontation at all. If you are volunteering as a poll monitor and you see an issue, someone interfering with voters or anything like that, you go in, you alert the chief election judge to help resolve the issue. There's no need to confront anybody. And then you note the issue and report it on the hotline or the LBJ app. So I hope that this covers pretty much everything that you will need to know for voting day or early election. And thank you again for volunteering.
When you are the very first person setting up, here's what to expect. Each location will have a tent and sandbags to weigh it down, a banner, a table, and for early voting tables, a tablecloth, a bin or bag with campaign literature, extra rubber bands, zip ties, tape, string, and a garbage bag, and of course, yard signs. Set up the tent. This is usually easiest with 2 people. The pop-up tents all work in the same general way. Remove it from its bag, pull the legs apart as far as you can, then extend each leg pole to the height that you want. Velcro sandbags to the tent legs to keep the tent weighted. If for some reason you do not have sandbags, you can place a couple of bricks or rocks in a plastic bag and use that. You can also use bottles of water in a bag if need be. Set up yard signs around the voting site. Take pictures of everything, Democrat and Republican side. Sometimes the pictures are needed. Make sure that you do not set up signs within the 100-foot no electioneering zone. It is okay to set up signs in front of others, but take care not to actually touch any of the Republican signs, as we do not want to get accused of tampering. Set up the table and set out the campaign literature. It works best to leave the rubber bands on the materials to prevent them from blowing away in the wind. Attach the banner to the tent with zip ties, and you are good to go.
This is the setup for our tent with the St. Mary's County Democrat sign attached. And I'll show you around back that we use 4 zip ties to attach it. And the best thing to do is start with the center 2. There's 4 holes. Start with the center 2 so that you can make sure you get it centered. And then when you put the outside ones on, you can see how far out you have to put them to get it straight.
Hi, so if you are the first person setting up a tent, when you get on site in the morning, you'll probably find it set up like this. So the first thing you'll want to do is raise the tent. If you're by yourself, you just have to go one leg at a time. I haven't decided if it's better to do diagonals or a side and then the other side. I do find it helpful to hold the top as you go along. That's 3. And 4. And I like to have it one set higher just to have a little bit more space underneath. Most of the tents work the same way. They're not all exactly the same, but it's similar. I usually check and make sure our banners are straight across. And then you'll set out the literature on the table. Put that down first. There's no order that things need to be in. Personally, I like to put all of the state candidates on one side and the local on the other, but you can set them up in whatever way makes the most sense to you. And once you have all of the materials out, how you like them on the table, you can set up your chair and be ready to welcome visitors. Oh, and also put up, if you have a sign that's lying like that, you'll want to stand it up, because we sometimes zip tie the signs on there. And finish with your literature and have a seat and be ready to greet folks. All right, so if you have the last shift in an evening to get things put away, first you're going to take all the literature on the table and fit it into the bin. It should all fit in the bin because it was there before.
Can I say here, look, Julia's doing all the hard work for me.
And then normally you'll also have a garbage bag in the bin, which is just in case it's going to rain in the evening. You will want to make sure that things are kept dry if they need to be. For example, the sign on the front, you can take off the table and roll it up, put it in the garbage bag to keep it dry if there is a sign. All right, but since it's not going to rain, I'm not going to bother with the garbage bag tonight. I'll just leave it in the bin. And then you'll flip the sign up onto the table, and you can leave the bin and the extra chair on the table. I usually switch to that. All right, and then you're going to just lower the tent. If you have a sign zip tied to the leg of the tent, just turn it sideways and lay it down on the ground so that you can get the tent lowered. And then go one leg at a time. Push one leg at a time in. Down to that level. And then we go all the way down past the bottom or sometimes you'll find you want to hold the edge of the tent as you do it. Things won't fall over on you. Get it all down to this level, and you're ready to head out for the evening, and it'll be all ready for setup the next day.
Packing up at the end of early voting or at the end of the day on election day is pretty straightforward. Pack up all the candidate literature in the bag or bin at your site. Remove the banner from the tent by cutting the zip ties. Pack the bag or bin of materials, the banner, the tablecloth, and the table into your car. Pick up and take any remaining trash or items that may have been left by volunteers. Take down the tent. Again, this is easiest with 2 people. By removing the sandbags and any signs that may have been zip tied to the legs, then telescoping the legs down. Walk the legs in toward each other and then place the tent into its bag. Pack the tent and sandbags into your car. Go around and pick up all Democratic candidate yard signs and place them in your car. We will have a time arranged when you can return all these items to the campaign office in Lexington Park. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at smcdemocrats@gmail.com. We will also provide contact information in your supplies in case any issues arise during your shift. Again, thank you so much for volunteering with us.